Hello guys, Bud here with Dependable Lawn Care, and I've got a little winter project going on. This is a project for a buddy of mine that's deployed right now in the military, and he wants this built for his wife and kids to enjoy while he's gone, and then for them to have some family time when he gets back. So what we're doing is we have the post set. We did that actually about a month or two ago, just a day that we had off, and his dad came over and he rented a little backhoe to dig the holes and everything. But this is I believe it's a 12 by 24 if I remember correct, the pad, and these are cedar posts that he harvested and seasoned. And so the posts are set, and we've ordered and already picked up a lot of the lumber. So you can see here on the trailer, I've got to move all that lumber inside to stain it. And what we're doing is building a pavilion. So if you're not familiar with a pavilion, basically we're just going to put a roof over the pad, and it'll be a heavy timber style roof with dark stain, and the posts, the cedar logs rather, will be stained dark. This is day number 2 update. I spent the morning getting all of our boards stained. Well, okay, not all of the boards. We still have the 2x6s to do, but all of the 2x10s are stained, both sides, and the narrow sides and the ends. I've pressure washed the posts, so now all the bark is stripped off and cleaned up. I've put together all of my beams except for one, and that's because I've got to stain the other side of those. A lot of staining in this project, just a lot of staining involved in general because everything gets stained. The posts are actually going to get stained today. I've got the notch work all done on top where the beams are going to run. So you can see I've got that notch right there where the beam's going to run this way, and then there's a shelf where it's going to run this way. So that's all done. Everything's notched on top. Again, you know, beams are all made. I've got a whole stack of 2x6s underneath that canvas tarp over there that are already stained on both sides and ready to go, and everything that's on the trailer, I just have the last side to stain, and then that will all be done and ready. And over here I've got set up to do some sampling with the stain. We want the stain a little bit lighter on the posts than it is on the beams. That's a pretty dark stain. It's a very dark brown stain, undiluted. And we just want to lighten it up enough that we can see the post, see the grain of the wood basically through the stain, and then we're going to spray that on. So Josh is actually working on getting that mixed up and ready, and sampling that, testing it, while I'm going to stain the rest of these boards. All the boards on the trailer stained, which was the last of the 2x. Stained the last side, and Josh is working his way around the posts and spraying those with the electric sprayer. So we ended up diluting the stain. It's a 50-50, so it's diluted in half to tone down the color a little bit, because it's a pretty dark color. You can tell on the beams, even with them being dirty. That's a dark color. So this is a little bit lighter. Of course, the cedar posts soak this stuff up pretty good. But the good thing about it, you can really see it good on this log, is that you can see the grain. You can see the grain in the log really good. And that's what we were going for, is to be able to keep the look of the cedar logs, but still have them darkened up a little bit. So all the posts are stained now, and we've got our first beam in place. Now what I've been calling the beam, or beams, are these 2x's that I've sandwiched. They're 2x10s, the ones that we just put up, and the one that I'm looking at right now, they're both 12 footers. So that's a 3 inch by 10 inch 12-foot beam. And so that's what we just put up, and that one is halfway into that post, and then the rest of it just goes all the way out here. So the next one's going to do the same thing. It'll take the other half of that post and go right out the other side, and that's going to make up the side on both sides. And then I have one solid one that I built, and it's built out of a 2x16 and a 2x12 on both sides. So that's the long one here in the middle. So you can see I stopped right there with the 2x12, 2x16 on the other side, goes on down to right there, and then 2x16 on this side, 2x12 on that side to finish the beam. That's going to be the center top. So there are 2 for each side that are 12-footers, and then 2 16-footers that are going to be the ends, and then the other 2 16-footers are on the trailer that just got stained. That'll be the middle. And of course, they'll have to be cut down to length because this pad's only 12 or 14, so there's going to be some scrap cut off of that. But that was as close as we could get and have a solid board. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We just got the first one up, so I thought I'd stop for a second and shoot this. Alright, we're finishing up for the day, so I'll show you guys a little more next time. But we have the 2 sides in place, and they're not lag bolted in yet. They're just got a few Torx screws toe nailed in a few places to hold everything together. And when I come back next time, I'll start working on the ends and the center, and then we'll move into working on the roof. Sorry for the dogs barking, guys. They're excited that we're out here working, I guess, but we got the ends on today, and we also got the top joist for the middle of the roof in, and then we got all the corners and sides lag bolted, as you can see. I'll show you what those lag bolts look like. They're 1/2 inch by 8 inch lag bolts, so everything is lag bolted in nice and tight all the way around, and we've got our top joist in place to make this a 4 and 12 pitch. That's the pitch of the roof of the house, so we're just trying to kind of match the pitch, even though the color of the shingles is going to be different, but at least the roof pitch will match up. And that's where we're at right now. We're going to start cutting our roof joists and get a few of those in place just to make sure everything's nice and stable before we quit for the day. We've still got enough time left to get a little bit done if it doesn't start raining on us. It's been kind of a dreary day, but we're still out here killing it, getting stuff done. So today I started on the roof. As you can see, I've started on the sheeting. Had to go through and cut all the rafter tails off, which they're not really rafters, this is more stick framing, but as you can see, cut all the rafter tails off so that they're level, and then I started sheeting. This sheet's not fastened down yet, it's just laying up there. I laid a few sheets up there and kind of figured out what I wanted to do with it. So what we're going with is this 4-inch on center plywood. Now this is typically used for a barn siding look, a barn siding effect on shop buildings and sheds and things like that. They wanted to use it for sheeting on the roof, so that underneath the roof which is going to be visible, you have this 1x4 effect. So that's what we're going with. Well, it's all finished up. Today we got the drip edge, tar paper, shingles, everything on. Went around and touched up the ends of all the boards that we had trimmed off, and so this is the finished product. It's gonna be pretty neat. I like the idea of using the 4-inch on center barn panel, and we sheeted the roof with that, and then used nails that were just long enough to not go through it, so that you have that look underneath. And I think that turned out pretty cool. Definitely has a neat look to it. So anyway, it's the roof is bigger than the pad, but the pad is 14 by 22. I'm saying the roof came out, I believe it was 18 across and 24 long, so it's definitely a nice space. Didn't do a very good job of keeping up with the video on this project because it was just moving along too fast. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys.